Hi guys, Squirrel here. Welcome to another episode of This May Contain Nuts. I'm sat in my truck here, my MAN truck. This is one of Madster's trucks. The mod is in the mod spreadsheet, in case you're wondering. As you can see, I've got my squirrel mug, my squirrel cap, my bag of stuff, and a really dodgy blanket for my grandma that I'm going to sleep in the bed back there. And a coffee machine. Look, I've got a coffee machine. And a sat-nav. A TomTom sat-nav. There's a mod for this. So I've turned off the inbuilt one, which normally sits over here, and I've gone for this one. It works beautifully, apart from it's a little bit bright. It can be a bit bloomy. But other than that, it works pretty well. In terms of the truck, as you can see, I've spec'd it out as a sort of a heavy hauler, if you like. We've got a 6x4 chassis on there. I think, if I remember, I spec'd a 600 brake engine, I think. Got all the tanks and stuff back here. It looks pretty good. I've tried to keep it to a minimum in terms of bling. We've got the beacon on the top there, the side horns, and two different sizes of light, which I thought, you know, we'd try for a first time. But other than that, just some simple lighting along the front, the amber lighting. I think it looks pretty good. In terms of the job we're going to take today, we're going to move a fairly heavy job. We are in Vasa, in Finland, which is beautifully appropriate considering we've been playing My Summer Car. And our journey, I think, takes us along the coast here, down to Turkey. We're going to take a ferry into Stockholm, I think. I think the delivery's here in Stockholm. It might be Uppsala, I can't remember. We'll have a look in a second when we get there. In terms of TMCN, this is the very first TMCN that I've done that has a theme, okay? And the theme is holidays. So if this works, then I may do another one. I may do another themed one. I did ask for submissions on my Facebook and Twitter, and in my Discord server, so I don't know if you guys all saw it, because you may or may not have seen it, but let me know your thoughts. At the end of this episode, let me know your thoughts on whether you think a themed TMCN it works, okay? Because if it does, then I'll do the next one. I'll give you a theme, basically. That's the bottom line. So the theme is holidays, so we've got questions about holidays, because basically I just came back from holiday a few weeks ago. And I'm missing it greatly already because, let me tell you, the weather in the UK has been cold, like -3 kind of cold. And, hello, why am I not actually engaging the gear here? Okay, there's forward. There's backward, okay. We have got a reverse gear. It's been like -3, which, I know there's lots of people who live in like crazy cold places, but, you know, I'm not a huge fan of I'm not a huge fan of January, I must admit. It's not something I like. And it's dark, it's cold, the credit card bills come in from Christmas. There's lots of things I don't like about January. But this year I decided to take a holiday to Gran Canaria, which is in the Canary Islands, which is just off the coast of Africa, if you know where like the Sahara is, and Dakar, that kind of area. It has ridiculous weather pattern in the Canaries. It's pretty much always 20 Celsius up to 30 Celsius. Like, it never really gets hot and it never really gets cold. It's just ridiculous weather. Right, where are we going? We are going not here. Wait, let me check the job. I think I've come to the wrong place. I thought it was here. It might be just down the road. 1 second. There it is. Oh, I've gone to the wrong place. Yeah, I have. Wait a sec. Let me get back onto the road and figure out what's going on. Let me see what the sat-nav says. No, the sat... Wait. Is it there? Is it where I just came from? I was confused. I looked at the sat-nav and I thought it was coming from here because I saw some heavy stuff over there, but I've got a feeling it's this one. Although it doesn't look like it on the diagram, does it? It looks like it's forward and right. That is odd. Okay, let's try this. See, look at the sat-nav there. It's so ambiguous. I think that's it though. It's got to be this one. Yeah, there you go. Right, okay. Mystery solved. We've found our trailer. Do you know what? I bet you, when you're a delivery driver, I bet you get times when you can't find your pickup or you can't find your drop-off. You're like, where the heck is this place? And it must have been even worse in the days of using just maps and stuff, which are probably outdated. But even sat-navs get it wrong horribly sometimes. Okay, I think we're going to need our beacons on for this one. Let's line her up. There we go. So that's what we're looking at. Let me put the parking brake on 1 sec. So if you look, this is... Oh, my truck's damaged. A Ratel SFV 90. 19 tons, going to Uppsala. 22,000 delivery if we can pull it off. Let's get the beacons on. Has the trailer got a beacon? No, it doesn't. Alright, this thing should be more than capable. And while we're driving, we'll answer some questions. Why's my shifter? There we go. Okay, 3H that'll do. Actually, maybe 3H is a bit aggressive. Let's try 2H. That's better. Alright, let's crack on with the questions. We have how many miles to go? 699 kilometers. About half of that is the ferry though, so it shouldn't be too long. It's a frosty morning, it's 7 AM. I've got the frosty mod turned on, as you can see. Maybe when I get to February and I feel like it's a bit warmer, I might turn off the frosty mod, but right now, outside, this is how it feels in the UK. Right, first question from the themed list of holidays comes from the Train Sim fan, and he says, hey Paul, oh, 1 sec, let me get in the right gear. He says, hey Paul, since this is a holiday themed Q&A, what was the most favourite highlight of your holiday to Taurito in the Gran Canaries in Spain? So, he's quite right, I went to Taurito. Gran Canaria is, as an island, is a bit like a circle, with mountains in the middle. That's, wow, why is this sign in the wrong place? Look at that. And Taurito is, if you imagine a clock face, Taurito I guess is at about 7 o'clock on a clock face on the island. The actual airport is at roughly about 3 o'clock. A lot of the resorts are along the sort of south side of the island. But it was in Taurito is what it was. What was my favourite thing about the holiday? I don't think there was any particular one thing that I enjoyed about my holiday. I'd say my favourite thing was the pattern that I got into. So I got into this pattern where in the morning the sun would come up at about, bearing in mind this is January, this is like winter, the sun would come up at about 8 AM. And then it would actually hit my balcony at about 10:30, 11 o'clock, okay? And let me tell you, considering it's the middle of January, that sun was very warm. Like, ridiculously warm for January. And you could sunbathe on your balcony. So I would often just sit there in the morning, either listen to an audiobook, catch a few rays, then, you know, I might go and grab some food, which was always on tap because I was on an all-inclusive holiday. I'd come back, my room would be cleaned, my bed would be all nicely, neatly folded. On an evening, you know, then we'd go out in an afternoon, maybe go for a walk or just go and chill somewhere, go shopping. And then on an evening there was entertainment, there was food, there was drinks, and then we'd go to bed, then we'd get up the next day and rinse, repeat. It was the pattern that I loved. That pattern was beautiful, and that was by far, I think, my favourite thing about the holiday was just, I had a proper holiday experience, which is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to get away for a week and just, you know, chill. November, December, like in the gaming market, is very, very busy. And January is probably the quietest month of all of them, which is one of the deciding factors to take a break in January, because I'd worked quite hard in November, December, and just, I needed to recharge the batteries, you know, that's what a holiday is to me, is battery recharging. And I did it beautifully. I really enjoyed it, really enjoyed my time. Didn't want to come back, came back to frost and snow, it was horrible. But that's another story. Thank you for the question. Frosty Jack 35 says, where would your dream holiday of choice be if money was no object? Whew, that's a tricky one. Your dream holiday of choice if money was no object. Hang on a sec, I think I'm speeding slightly here. I think I should only be doing 80. Yeah, I am speeding. Let me bring it down a notch. There we go. I quite fancy the Maldives. Somewhere like, I've never been to what I would class as, you know, one of those places that is truly kind of like beach, clear blue water, palm trees, like the ridiculous, sarcastic, what do they call it, Castaway Beach, that kind of place. I think they have them in places like Thailand. I know the Maldives have them. I think Richard Branson's Virgin Islands are a bit like that. I've never experienced that, and the Maldives does look very nice, so I think I'd like to try somewhere like that. Maldives would be a good one, but anywhere really where it's just like lots of small islands and palm trees and beach and just, I don't know, nothing, just like no sign of a skyscraper, or just like the most ridiculous holiday experience, and then just diving into the sea, which is crystal blue. That's what I'd like to try out, I think. Don't know if I'd like it or not, but I'd like to try it out. I suppose that would be my dream holiday. Just the idea of beaches and fun and sun. Yeah, that would be it, I guess. Next question from Henry Moore. A holiday mishap. We all have them, but what was your most interesting holiday mishaps? Blimey. My holiday mishap I suppose would be when I broke my toe without realising. I broke it in the swimming pool. I remember it was in Salou in Spain. I remember being in the pool. I remember kicking the side of the pool and thinking, ow, that hurts. And it was probably only a lot later, like a week or two later, then I noticed my toe was not straight anymore. It was like angled. I'd broken my toe and I hadn't even realised. I just thought it was hurting. So that would be my holiday mishap. I remember also my mum, when she went on holiday with us once, and she went to get a couple of beers, and then as she walked out of the bar, she walked into the glass window, like the big patio window, and she almost broke her nose. Her eyes went black, but she didn't actually break her nose, but she slammed into the glass. Which was not marked in any way. After that, they put markings on it to show that, you know, there's a window here, because they cleaned it. Because they cleaned the window, you couldn't actually see the glass. And she walked into it and nearly broke her nose. And also, I think a holiday mishap, I guess, would be myself and my friend. We were 16, I think it was, or 17, I can't remember, in Mallorca, and we hired some scooters. And we stupidly went out in our shorts on scooters. And I suppose you think you know what's going to happen next, but it didn't actually happen next. What actually happened was we didn't put any sunblock on. So we got on the scooters in Mallorca in August with shorts on and no sunblock. And oh yes, the sunburn was real on my thighs. The sunburn was real, and it was so bad on the evening that I couldn't even put trousers on. I couldn't, like, touch it. It was excruciatingly painful. And we went downstairs to the bar, and I couldn't actually stand at the bar because it felt like somebody was sticking hot needles into my thigh. And I had to keep sitting down. Eventually I had to go back to my room in agony. Definitely a learning curve for me, that was. So don't do that. If you're going to go out in the sun, always use sunblock, especially if you're on a scooter. You don't want to experience that in your life, trust me. So that's a holiday mishap. Henry Moore says, what was your funnest holiday tale? Funnest holiday tale. We was in Salou, right? So me and my friend was in Salou, and we went out shopping, and we saw somebody selling these. They were like these monkeys, and you put your kind of hand in the back of the monkey, and where your hand goes into its mouth on the inside, you squeeze it and it goes squeak squeak like this. So you had this monkey, right? And I don't know how it started or how it happened, but we was on our hotel balconies and the evening entertainment started. You know, which we could see from our balcony. There was crowds of people sat down there, and we could see them. We could see the entertainment. Let me slow down here. And we just, like, the music was playing, and we just started to mess about with the monkeys. So we were like putting them on the balcony and just dancing with the monkeys. So we're dancing along, and like I started it, and then he started it, and then we looked down and noticed that people were kind of pointing up and giggling and laughing at us dancing monkeys on the balcony. From their point of view, they couldn't see us or our hands or arms. They just saw monkeys dancing on the balcony to the music, and we just went from there. We started making it more and more funny, and people like taking photographs and just killing themselves laughing. So I guess that was a pretty fun tale. It's something that I've never forgotten to this day. It still makes me chuckle when I think about it. It's just one of those fun things that we did when we were young that not only made me laugh, but made a lot of people laugh, you know, because the entertainment was hit and miss, but they were entertained by us, just dancing monkeys on a balcony, and the kids down there were loving it as well. They were all just obsessed, just watching the monkeys. It was better than the real entertainment. I suppose the hotel were probably getting really annoyed with us. But yeah, that was my fun holiday tale. Come on, lights, change for me before I need to stop. Not a chance. Oh wait, no. The moment you put your parking brake on, that's when the lights change. Okay, I'm not sure why we're waiting. There we go. Jimmy Slave Latin, what sort of holiday person are you? I am more of an explorer than just getting a tan. Yeah, Jimmy, I can see that. So some people go on holiday and they just chill out in the sun. The thing is, some people tan really easily, and some people don't tan very well at all. Some people love the hot sun, other people don't like the hot sun. And like you say, some people are quite adventurous and some people just want to chill. I think a lot of it comes down to your kind of position in life, like your age and what you're looking for from a holiday. Are you looking to go and see historic places? Does that interest you? Are you just looking to rest because you've had a lot of work? Are you looking for energy-packed holidays, like where you're gonna abseil and, you know, go canoeing or whatever? There's lots of ways to take a holiday. For me personally, I generally, when I get there, I'm pretty tired. I need to rest for a day or two, so generally that's what I do, is I catch up on sleep. Then I feel a bit revitalized, get into the swing of it, at which point I will start to sort of, you know, just explore the local area. Like, I don't like sitting in the sun all day either. I'm not that kind of person because I get too hot. So I will generally go out and look around the local area, look at the shops, start looking for places to go. As I did in Gran Canaria, I'll hire a car and then go and see more of the place around me. Like, I'll look for where there's nearest, you know, where are the interesting places to go to. Like, go up into the mountains or go drive up to some resort that's, you know, or some museums. I went to Las Palmas and it had a big museum there. With a local artist and that kind of thing. So I kind of go around and see a bit of the place and then rest as well. So what we decided, me and Mrs. Squirrel decided, was we were going to do like on and off days. So we'd have a day where we'd go out and do something, and a day where we'd kind of sit back and just relax and listen to a book and chill. And that worked really well. That's my kind of holiday. But each to his own. Cool Patrick says, how hard is it to plan vacations with YouTube, especially with your Twitch schedule? Twitch is really hard to plan for a holiday because when you're not live, like, if you're not there, you're not live. It's that simple. With YouTube, I recorded a bunch of videos, my summer car videos, before I went on a holiday, and then just scheduled them to go out. So that works really well. On YouTube, you can take a holiday. On Twitch, it's very hard to take a holiday. Like, you lose momentum on Twitch very easily, as I said before, and one of the ways you can do that is to take an extended break, because, you know, people find other things to do and then they don't come back, kind of thing. You know, Twitch is very hard to take holidays, but YouTube was a lot easier. It just means that the week before you go is you're pretty busy because you've got to start making videos to go out when you're not there. So you're not just making this week's content, you're making next week's content when you're not there, kind of thing. But a lot of YouTubers are a lot more organised than I am, and they've got a buffer of videos bigger than I do, and they've always got stuff ready to go for perhaps the full week, you know, whereas I've never managed to get to that point yet. Yeah, I know, but then again, I do YouTube and Twitch, and it's pretty hard. That's all I can say, it's pretty hard. There's a lot going on. But that's what I did. It wasn't too bad. Kenshaw 1, what would have been your favourite holiday growing up? Definitely Mallorca when I was age 16. So I don't know why, but my mum decided that when we turned 16, or when I turned 16, she took me and my best friend at the time to Mallorca, and it was one of the best holidays. It was to do with celebrating the end of my exams, you know, because when you're 16 you do big exams, be it like GCSE O-level type things, before you go on to do A-levels and things like that. And she decided to take me on a big holiday, and it was one of the best holidays it ever had. However, just before the exam started, I think it was in May, just before the exam started in May, we were due to go on holiday in August, and just before the exam started, my friend broke his leg, so he got run over by a car. I watched it happen. He basically tried to save his dog. He stepped in front of an ice cream van because he thought his dog was going to jump over the fence. He saw a car, get this, he saw a car coming, saw his dog about to jump over a fence, stepped in front of an ice cream van, and as the car tried to stop, which he couldn't, he just clipped his leg, and then, you know, it basically snapped his leg I won't go into details, it snapped his leg in a bad way. And I watched it happen, and it was, you know, something you don't forget. The bottom line is, and the reason this is relevant, is because when we went on holiday, he still had his entire leg in cast, right? Now we thought this was going to ruin his holiday, because he's got his entire leg in a cast. So we had to tell the travel agent, and the most amazing thing happened. It turned out to be one of the best holidays we'd ever had. Not just because it was my first proper holiday abroad, but because my friend, whose leg was in a cast, we got the royal treatments. Like, it was insane. Like, from the very moment we got to the airport, he was put in a wheelchair, he was, you know, pushed along to the plane, we got put to the front of the queue, we got on the plane, he was put at the front of the plane with all the leg room, and I got to sit next to him. So it was like, what the heck is going on? Did we just get VIP treatment here or what? And then when we got there, you know, we were first off, transferred onto a coach, they got his bags for him, we got to the hotel, and, you know, we got, you know, bearing in mind we were 16, we got so much attention. Like all the girls were like coming over going, oh man, how did you break your leg? Because, you know, you're on holiday and you've got your leg in cast. It's unusual, you know? And it was just insane. Like, from start to finish, we got so much attention. The only downside was he couldn't get in the pool, and it was hot. It was like 35 Celsius and really, really hot. Wait, where am I going here? 1 second. What's going on here? I got a feeling I've missed my turn off because I've been talking. Yeah, I need to double back and get on the ferry. 35 Celsius and hot. And he couldn't get in the pool, so what he had to do was he had to... tell you what, let's go into this yard and turn around. Let's quickly nip into this yard. Actually, we could probably get away with a U-turn now. So we had to sit at the side of the pool and just put his other leg, into the pool to stay cool because it was so hot. But apart from that, we had insane amounts of attention and just like the best holiday ever. We came back so brown. It was crazy. It was actually crazy. In fact, we got back and his mum thought that we'd put shoe polish on our face. Like, I'm not even joking. Thought we'd put shoe polish on our face to make ourselves look tanned, and then she realised, no, we were actually just tanned. It was crazy. But that was probably my favourite holiday growing up. Ken Shaw was that one. Matthew says, will you go back to Gran Canaria for another holiday? I think, because I've been to Tenerife twice. I've been to Gran Canaria now. My next one will be Lanzarote. I'd like to try Lanzarote. I don't think I'll go to Fuerteventura, which is like the other main Canaries island. Fuerteventura is very, very windy, so if you're into windsurfing or anything like that, you definitely want to go there because they have like insane winds. I think Lanzarote I'll try next. But I'm not against Gran Canaria. I just love the Canaries. I think the Canaries are just brilliant. The climate is just one of the best climates in the world. With its year-round... You can go there any time of the year. Any time of the year. A lot of people go there playing golf as well because it's... In winter, the golf over there is just still fantastic, you know? Okay, beacons are off. Let's pull forward. And Engine is off. Lights are off. Right, Stockholm, here we go. 11-hour trip, 800 euros. It's probably going to be dark when we get there. Let's see what happens. Yeah, 2300. It's 11 p.m. I'm almost out of fuel as well. I think we've probably got enough fuel to get to our destination. But let me just double check if there's a fuel station on the way. There's not actually one on the way. I suppose what I could do is after this delivery, I could buy that place, upgrade it, and get my fuel that way. There's actually a fuel just there. But I think we've got enough to get us to the destination. Okay. Lights are on. Beacon's coming on. You can see the TomTom. You've probably been watching it. It's pretty good, but it is a little bit bright. But if you notice when you zoom in, you see how the HDR makes it like visible, and then when you zoom out, it kind of gets too bright again. That's HDR doing that. There are no controls for it, unfortunately. If you adjust the dash brightness, it doesn't actually affect that TomTom. Which is a little bit annoying. The mod author could have hooked that in as well. Right, let's take another question here. Devrigrad says, if you were in the US a few years ago for TwitchCon, would you like to come back to the States or just go as a regular tourist type vacation instead of having to go or be somewhere, or would you come back for TwitchCon? What keeps disconnecting on my computer? Anyway. Yeah, I want to go back to the States. There's a lot of places in the States that I want to go and see. A lot of things I want to do. The problem is, like, if you fly to the States for a holiday, I'd like to go there for, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and see lots of things. The problem is, as I said earlier, just taking 2 to 3 weeks off could make it work for YouTube by just recording a whole lot of stuff. But for Twitch, that would be a disaster. That would be a disaster. I don't know what I would come back to. But I could make it work on YouTube, I guess. But yeah, I do want to go. I don't know if I'll go to TwitchCon anytime soon. I don't have any plans to. There's another one this year, but it's in Long Beach, I think. I don't know. I don't really get much out of TwitchCon. That's the thing. It's a very expensive trip, and I don't get that much out of it. So, but yeah, in terms of going to the US, I definitely want to go to the US. I'd like to go to a PAX at some point. I don't know which one to go to, but I've heard PAX is pretty good. Maybe PAX East, because that's only a 5-hour flight, I think. Much shorter flight to get to PAX East for me than it is to go all the way West Coast. So yeah, Devry, hope that answers your question. Let's see, Josh Chandler or JS Chandley says, come on, get in gear. Okay, occasionally my SKRS shifter in high doesn't get recognised, and that's what happens. Yeah, it's done it. Oh, I know what it is. No, I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on. Don't know what's going on. Trying to focus on the questions and work out why gearbox isn't working. What's your favourite holiday tradition, is what he says. Favourite holiday tradition? I don't really have any, apart from when I used to go on holiday when I was younger. On the last day, we would sit on the balcony, we'd get bottles of sangria, like massive jugs of sangria, and then we'd just play cards and get absolutely wrecked. And it was hilarious. I mean, one year we actually got a warning from the hotel guy telling us to keep it down because we were making a lot of noise at like 11:30 at night because we were absolutely hammered. But apart from that, we had a great time. So that would be a holiday tradition, but I don't really have any now, is the point. I don't have any now. Nelange says, which place you have always dreamt of visiting since childhood but never been able to go to? I think for me that would be I would love to go to Warner Brothers Studios. I mean, the problem is I don't like queuing up for stuff. I don't like queuing up for an hour. So the idea of going to theme parks where you know, queue up for an hour and a half just to get on one ride is like, oh god, please no, kill me now kind of thing. I don't like that. I really hate that. But I would love to go to Warner Brothers and experience, all the different stuff they have. I've seen some of the stuff on TV. It just looks amazing, like an amazing experience. So I'd love to go to that. Also, I love roller coasters, and you know, I'm not kidding. Like, America has some of the most amazing roller coasters, and I'd love to go and experience some of them. Some of the big, like, they have, compared to what they have in the UK, they're just ridiculously big. Like, they go on forever, and I would love to go on some of those roller coasters. Particularly, I quite fancy that one that somebody built where it just propels you forward, and then under your own momentum you go up vertically, loop, and come back down again. I'd like to ride that one. I remember watching an engineering program where they made that. But yeah, I'd like to go to the States and just experience some roller coasters, and I'd like to go to Warner Brothers Studios. They would be something I would like to go to. I don't really have a particular destination which is like a dream place to visit, other than, like I say, maybe like the Maldives or somewhere like that. Harry Taylor says, what would be the perfect climate for you? I suppose he's saying, like, some people love snowy climates, like winter holidays. Some people like hot, sunny climates. Me, Canary Islands is the best I've found so far, but I'm not that well travelled. I've never been in the southern hemisphere for a kickoff. I've never crossed the equator, so I don't know. I don't know what else is out there, but I do know that I love the Canaries because it's guaranteed nice weather. So that answers that one. What is your... wait a second, what's the next one? WKIP1, what is your worst holiday experience? Oh my god. Worst holiday experience would be Menorca. When my kids were young and I went to Menorca, we took them to Menorca, and bearing in mind that I think one of them was 12 months old at that point, I had 3 kids, and one of them was very young and didn't even have a seat, so she had to sit on our lap, and of course, you know, 2 hours of that where she starts crying trying to keep her entertained was horrible. That was just the beginning of it. Like, we got to this place in Menorca and they had some of the wettest weather known to man. Like, it was monsoon kind of rain, and it never stopped for for 4 days. It just hardly stopped raining. The sewers were flooded. There was sewage coming out of the ground everywhere. The car park was like under a foot of water. And then on the second day, somehow my daughter contracted gastroenteritis, and she started to throw up everything that she ate or drank. We didn't know what was wrong with her at this point. She was just bringing everything back, including water, to the point where she I knew she was going to do that. To the point where she was starting to look like she was passing out, like her eyes were rolling because she was dehydrated. So we rushed her to the hospital, and they had to put on a drip feed. And within an hour of being on a drip feed, the transformation was ridiculous. Like, she just came back to life. So that was horrible. And then she coughed into my face, and I then got gastroenteritis, which stayed with me for about 2 months. Like, I got rid of it after a couple of weeks. I could eat, but it never went away for about 2 months. It was utterly horrible. The whole experience was a complete disaster from start to finish. I think probably on the day before we were going, we had one day where it stopped raining. We sat outside. You know, I'm feeling ill and I couldn't eat anything, but you know, everybody else was back on their feet. And you know, I tried to eat something, just started feeling sick again. The whole week was, you know, the worst of my life. And we never went on holiday abroad again for quite a few years, because we were like, okay, we're not doing this until the kids have grown up a bit more, because that was just horrible. And as a result, I never want to go back to Menorca. Now, I love Mallorca, but Menorca just has this savagely bad memory for me now. That was without doubt my worst holiday experience. Okay, let's go this way. I think the drop-off point is not there, which means it must be... Let me bring this map up. I think it's on our right. Yeah, there it is, around the back of this thing. Which way do we want to go? Let's go that way, round the back. Okay, why are you not... That's what that noise is. It's my SKRS disconnecting. 1 second. Why is my SKRS disconnecting? There we go. Okay, now I can change gear. I couldn't get out of high range. That would explain... I could keep hearing the disconnect noise, but I didn't know what was disconnecting. And then there were times when I couldn't get in the right gear, and now the penny drops. It was my SKRS disconnecting. That's what the problem was. I think it's my USB hubs playing up. But anyway, that's what that noise was. Cool. So yeah, that is a bunch of questions answered about with a holiday theme. So if you did like the idea of doing a themed TMCN, then let me know in the comments, and also maybe leave an idea for a theme, because that's the next thing I would need is what kind of theme are we going for? Now reversing this thing in the darkness is not easy. It's a blindside reverse with really bad depth perception. Let me just check where we are here. Okay, not too bad. Probably want to cut it in a bit more. Maybe make it a bit sharper like that. Let's have a look at that. Okay, yeah, now we want to straighten her off. A full lock. Let's see where we are now. Okay, we can probably pull forward a bit now. Yeah, so if you like the idea of doing themed TMCNs, then please suggest a theme in the comments. If you want to ask a question for TMCN, then the link is in the video description. It'll take you to the form where you can post your questions. You can ask as many as you like, just do one question per post. That'll do. That was a pretty tricky reverse. Decoupling. Let's see. Excelente. That's not bad. Got some nice XP from that. Oh, level 65. 64, sorry. We just pinged 64. Fully paid. I better go and get some fuel for this thing. Parking brake is engaged. Of course it is. I'm so thorough. So yeah, let me know if you like the theme thing, or whether you don't. If you don't like it, just say so. You're entitled to an opinion. If you do like it, suggest a theme. And if you want to ask a question, then go ahead and check out the video description for the link for that. But yeah, I'm just going to go over the road and park up, I think, before I completely run out of fuel. Let's get out of the way over here. I'll probably buy this, upgrade it, and refuel. We'll do it that way. But for now, let's just stick the parking brake on and stop it right there. And just say that that is another TMCN episode. I hope you enjoyed that one, guys. If you did, please give me a like. And until the next one, take care, guys. We can probably do better than that, can't we? Let's try this. Take care, guys. And happy trucking.